Hey, what's up guys? It's Jake aka Tag, and today we're going to be jumping right into some live top 200 ladder gameplay from Ian, one of the best 2.9 XBOW players in the entire world. He is currently sitting pretty at 189, and we're going to see how high he can get up, so let's get right into the first game. So jumping right into our very first game, Ian is already saucing out the Prince emote, and we see the Supercell emote of the chicken. What do you guys think about that? If you haven't already collected it, go connect your game to Supercell ID, and then you'll be chilling with the chicken. So we see a miner right out of the gate. Hopefully it's going to be a giant miner duck because we'll be able to showcase how to destroy that right here, right now. So he sees a bandit and he sees miners. This is probably going to be P.E.K.K.A. No, it's going to be Mega Knight. Okay. So Mega Knight miner. This is going to be a pretty difficult matchup if his opponent has a big spell, but it's going to be really easy if his opponent doesn't have a big spell. If he doesn't have a big spell, if it's going to be Skeleton Barrel plus a whole bunch of bait cards, then you generally just want to set up defensive expos and wait for your time to go in for an offensive expo when they can't kill your defensive one. But this might be poison, so if it's going to be poison or fireball, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We see Ian having to go in for archers on defense. We see his opponent go in for an electro wizard, miner, zap, bats push. Very aggressive play right out of the gate. So Ian is not going to be taking any damage here. Whenever you play against a giant miner deck or you play against a Mega Knight miner deck or a P.E.K.K.A. miner deck, you cannot eat chip damage willy-nilly. When that happens, they're just able to chip you out really quickly with the miner, and the game is going to be over. So he's consistently going to go in for like log right there to deny that electro wizard hit and make sure that he denies his opponent's chip value. So we're going to see what he does here. We see the Inferno Dragon. This probably has poison, guys. It's the last card. He's going to have to go for Tesla, so then the bandit does not get a connection. And he's spending elixir just to play safe right now. He's not going to play aggressive because he still doesn't know what his opponent's last card is. And he's going to end up having to defend this Tesla, but he's not able to because his opponent goes in for a miner right on top of it instead of going for it right on the tower. So that was a really aggressive play. So Ian's not able to set up an expo with that defensive Tesla anymore. So if you guys played against a lesser player there, what would have happened is that Tesla would have stayed alive, and then he would have been able to protect his expo with that Tesla. Notice the Tesla placement as well. It's off center a little bit, so it's able to hit the Mega Knight, and it's able to hit the Inferno Dragon pretty quickly. He's actually going to go fireball the Inferno Dragon back, and then he gets Ice Spirit Skeletons down. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely brutal, and the bandit walks towards us. That was disgusting, guys. So if you want to set up your Tesla in the best possible formation, that is the placement. Do not be afraid to fireball if you want to go and cycle back to Skeleton's Ice Spirit, and you have a pretty bad card cycle. Say you have Log, Expo, and you just don't have the cards that you want to get back to the Skeleton's Ice Spirit. The fireball knocks everything back. It gives you a little bit extra time. And man, did that turn out brilliantly for Ian. He's going to go for an Ice Golem Kite, then he's going to go drop archers. But notice where he drops the archers. The archers are not going to get jumped on for quite a while, if ever. So that's awesome, man. He splits them up, and then he's still able to go in for the right-hand lane because they're split. Really well played. So a Mega Knight's coming at him. He goes in for the same Tesla placement. Is he going to do anything to the bandit? Is he going to let it lock? Well, he's going to end up dropping skeletons, so then he can drop an Ice Golem. And the bandit is constantly walking, guys. One of the key themes that we're going to notice in every single one of his games, he's never going to let Mega Knights jump on him. He's never going to let bandits jump. He's going to make them walk their entire duration. And, you know, the perk of bandit, it dashes. Perk of the Mega Knight, it is supposed to jump all over itself. If it doesn't happen like that, then, you know, they're going to be pretty sad. They're going to be sad pandas. So he's going to go for an Ice Golem to block, and he's going to go log to make sure that the Electro Wizard and the Mega Knight retarget. Unfortunately, the Electro Wizard does not fully retarget, and his opponent has Zap to shut him down. But the good thing in this situation is he's got the Tesla still alive. When you play Expo with Tesla, the main push is going to be consistently keeping the Expo alive in double elixir because your opponent drops a lot more units in double elixir. They have more elixir, more units on the map, and the Tesla decays really quickly, same period of time, no matter what it is, the Tesla always decays at the same rate. But in double elixir, since there's more units and all the other variables stay the same, that means that the Tesla's going to be much better in double elixir. So Tesla shreds way more, you keep it alive, and it's hitting more stuff. So that's why he's consistently playing a little bit more aggressive in double elixir because he knows he can get away with it. He's going to go and drop skeletons again. Unfortunately, the bandit goes and connects. So he did make one slip up this game, but it's still not going to matter. The Expo comes through, and he's going to collect the fattest W ever. So Ian played that so ridiculously well in single elixir to get that connection, and I was just really impressed. Double elixir, it's a little bit easier, as we just saw. You're able to get a little bit more value out of your Teslas, and you're able to break through way easier if you stack them. So let's move right on to the next game, and let's keep learning from the 2.9 XBOW Master. So we're right on to the next game against Midnight. So we see Mega Man in the back. That's indicative of either a Graveyard deck, a Lava Hound deck, or a Golem deck. Could also be an XBOW deck with Ice Wizard, Mega Minion, Rocket. We'll have to wait and see. So we see Electro Wizard and Mega Minion. This is going to be XBOW's greatest matchup. It's going to be a Royal Giant, man. This is going to be one of those matchups that's going to have Furnace, it's going to have Electro Wizard, Bard Barrel, pretty much everything you guys could ever ask for. So yeah, there's the Baby Dragon. This Furnace is going to be plopped down in the back, so then Ian can't really Fireball it. Well, Fireball's not in cycle right now, so this opponent's able to do that, but we're going to see his opponent consistently drop the Furnaces a little bit lower so they don't get sniped after he sees that Ian's got XBOW. So Ian is going to get lightninged right now, but it's still fine because he's able to kill the Furnace, and that's a really good transaction. So if you do not have your Fireball in cycle, go in for those defensive XBOWs, obliterate the Furnace if they drop it up high, and don't go in for the XBOW on offense because it's just going to get shut down by a Royal Giant. So pretty smart play from Ian. Baits out a Lightning and a Furnace, so that's 10 Elixir for 6 Elixir from the XBOW. So it's pretty cool. So now we see Archer split. We see Skeletons on the left-hand side. He's cycling a Log on the side that he already has chip damage. And he's going to try to get a little bit more value with the Archer, having the Skeletons go in front of that one Archer. But unfortunately, his opponent just nullifies everything. He's going to go in for Archers, even to deny the extra damage there. So Ian's a little bit pissed off that he has to cycle his Archers into a Baby Dragon right now. But it just shows, like, the discipline that he has to just deny all damage. Because if you're playing against a bad matchup like Giant Miner or Royal Giant Lightning, you can't allow them to get chip damage because that's going to be your biggest resource in deploying opposite lane aggression, and then maybe ignoring a Miner or maybe ignoring like a flimsy Mega Minion on the left-hand side that's cycled. And if you do that, sometimes you're going to be able to break through and potentially draw or win the game. But one of the things that I really like about the new update, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, is look at the double elixir a little bit before. It does not show up. It doesn't block troops. You can place things accurately now, and it's a long overdue update. But it's really, really quality of life improvement. So that's what I was talking about, guys. He's going to eat a little bit of damage from this Royal Giant, as we saw. But he's going to be able to deploy an XBOW on offense here. So he might be able to get some value from it. He's going to go for a Log and kill the Fire Spirits and kill the Furnace and get the XBOW connection. Oh my gosh, he's going to have Skeletons block for the Baby Dragon. Will he get an Ice Golem down in time? Yes, he does. Oh my gosh, Ian, you're a literal legend, dude. How did he do that? I felt like that was the most ballsy play ever, but he still gets through with some chip damage. He's so slippery with this XBOW deck. So he's going to go in for another offensive play pretty soon. He's already ramping up the Archers, cycling them all in the same lane, so the opponent goes in for a Royal Giant. He has more damage per second. He doesn't want to go in for a Tesla to support his XBOW, because if you're able to separate the Royal Giant on the other side where they're not getting chip damage, they're not going to want to Lightning with the Royal Giant anyway. And the Archers kill, and then you're able to out-cycle their second Royal Giant with your XBOW like we just saw right there, and then his opponent has nothing to shut this down. He's going to have to Lightning, and that's going to be a really bad transaction. If he gets Skeletons down to block the... Yeah, he just blocked the Lumberjack. Opponent's at 7 Elixir. He's going to try to Fireball before a Royal Giant gets back in cycle, but he'll be able to out-cycle this one as well. Ian has caught him in a very bad card cycle. This is what I'm talking about. You break your opponent's card cycle when you are facing a Royal Giant deck. Your deck cycles way faster, so if you kill the Royal Giant with Archers, you will always be able to consistently out-cycle the Royal Giant. And then they have to Lightning, and that's a 6 Elixir transaction on the tower that he doesn't want to work away on. And Ian is consistently able to go in for a Log there to get chip damage. He's actually in the lead now. So he was in a pretty dire strait earlier on, but now he's maneuvered his way back. So maybe this is probably like the perfect game for you guys to analyze against a Royal Giant player as XBOW. If you're in a bad spot, if you're literally having to cycle Archers into a Baby Dragon down with a horrible card cycle, how do you correct it? How do you get back into this situation? What he did is he went for Archers in the back on the right-hand side, played aggressively on the side that his opponent did not have chip damage in, and then he made ballsy plays with an XBOW and was allowed to get that connection because he blocked the Baby Dragon with the Skeletons, and then eventually cycled back to the Ice Golem, so the Baby Dragon latched onto that instead of the XBOW. So he caught his opponent out of card cycle without the Royal Giant took advantage of it, and he got himself in a really good spot. Unfortunately, his opponent's not playing aggressive at all. If you guys are playing against someone that wasn't top 200 in the world, I guarantee you in Grand Challenge or at any trophy range, they would be going in for a Royal Giant left-hand side. And if they did that, they would lose the game because all you would have to do is go in for a Tesla, go in for an Ice Spirit, Skeletons, or Archers on defense, and then Expo on the right-hand side after you defend, and the game's over because they can't defend with Lightning. So that's what would have happened, but this guy's playing really safe, and he's probably going to be able to draw out this game because he's a top 200 Expo player, or Royal Giant player, and this is not a good matchup for Ian. But just want to talk about what you would have happen in another situation. So he's going to go in for Archers again. Royal Giant's going to be deployed on offense here, and he's going to be going same lane as Ian. Ian can't really switch up opposite lane right now. If he wants to win this game, he has to go on the right-hand side. Otherwise, he's pre-planting Teslas. You guys might wonder, why is he pre-planting a Tesla? Well, the reason being is if his opponent goes in for a Lightning early on and kills that Tesla, then guess what happens? You know that he's going to be able to cycle back to another Tesla, and his opponent won't be able to Lightning the second one. Also, that Tesla still gives us a lot of value on defense on the left-hand side. It killed a Lumberjack that's already 4 Elixir, killed Fire Spirit, so it's racking up more than 4 Elixir of value. And it gave him the ability to play safe on defense. So even though it looked like a play that didn't matter at all, it definitely did. He's going to end up going for Ice Golem. The Lumberjack coming through. He's trying to get as much chip damage as possible. But man, that is a pretty crazy draw, and I really enjoyed how Ian was able to correct his card cycle and consistently get himself back on top in this game. Unfortunately, his opponent played super safe at the end with a hard counter, so there really wasn't a great way of breaking through when his opponent decided to go same lane and not play aggressive at all. But let's move on to the next game and let's keep learning. So Ian's already into the next game against someone that's rocking log bait, so I wonder what it's going to be. Is it going to be Inferno Tower? Is it going to be Prince plus Rocket without an Inferno Tower and maybe Dark Goblin Rascals? We'll have to wait and see. So he's got Knight. Going to be the original standard variation with either Tesla or Inferno Tower. It's not going to be a Tornado because no one runs that anymore, unfortunately. That would be the easiest possible matchup because Tornado doesn't do anything. So he's probably going to have to Fireball this or a Log. He's going to go in for a Log. And now he's going to have to deal with a Goblin Barrel. When you don't have Log in Cycle and your opponent has Goblin Barrel, but they don't have Knight in Cycle, it's not going to be that big of an issue because the Knight is going to be one of the best tanks for the Goblin Barrel since the Goblins would not be the primary target of your tower. The Knight would be. Unfortunately for this man, he's going to end up having a really bad situation where the Archers are going to tank for the Expo, and he ate an entire Goblin Barrel. So that's one of my favorite things to do when you play Expo. In single Elixir, if you eat a Goblin Barrel, and then you know that your opponent's going to try to go in for an Inferno Tower to catch your Expo, you can go in for Archers, and the Archers aren't loggable. The Archers are not going to die to no matter what your opponent drops in front of that Inferno Tower or supporting the Inferno Tower. It will never lock onto your Expo. And as a result, Ian just won the game because of that simple trick. I learned that a couple, I would say like maybe a year ago from Marco. Marco was one of the best Expo players when he actually played this game. He was always like top 1 in the world with it. He played and did that trick so many times to everyone that ran Logbait. And that's when Rocket actually killed Expos. Now, Rocket doesn't kill Expos. If you do that trick, they can't come back from that situation, especially in single Elixir when they don't have Elixir to Rocket the Expo after they've already deployed the Inferno Tower. It's really bad for them. So Ian came away with a quick and easy 3 crown there, and that's pretty insane that he was able to win the game so incredibly quickly. Let's move on to the next one and let's keep learning. So we're into the next game, and this guy's got an absolutely absurd deck. Oh my gosh. He's going to have the Sparky Barbarians Royal Giant deck with Hog Rider. I don't know what Ian does here, but I would be a little bit fuming right now. I wouldn't know what to do. He's going to have to Fireball that Hog Rider back for sure. He's going to drop Skelly. Zap isn't in cycle because we already saw it displayed a couple cards ago. He's going to have to cycle another 3 cards to get back to it. So his opponent can't drop down the Skellies. Skellies were able to obliterate the Hog Rider. Barbarians at the river. What does Ian have here? Is he going to drop like Log and then Ice Golem maybe? That's going to be a lot of damage on top of the Expo, but the Expo did get some value on the tower. He still has to deal with those Barbarians. Otherwise, he's going to get a couple hits on the tower for sure. He's going to have to drop an Ice Golem. So now he's down, I would say 3 or 4 Elixir. Yeah, he's 3 Elixir. I don't even know why I didn't look at that. But Sparky is going to be dropped in the back. We know Phenoform's deck. And he's definitely going to be deploying that Sparky soon. No, he goes in for a Royal Giant and Mega Minion. So, you know, he's an unpredictable sir. You don't know what his deck is unless you've actually seen it before. And you also never know what he's going to do. He's a wild, wild sir. So, Sparky is in the deck. He's just not dropping it. Archers are maybe going to get a little bit of chip damage on the left-hand side. And still Phenoform is going to... Nope, he's not up Elixir anymore after dropping the Zap. So, Expo coming down. He's only got Barbarians on Hog Rider. What is he going to do? He's going to... Oh, there's a Sparky. Well, I didn't really expect the Sparky. Ice Spirit retargets. He's going to drop Ice Golem now. One of the things that I really like to do as well is I like going in for archers and then fireballing if my Expo connects onto the Sparky, and then you're able to kill before the Sparky gets a shot off onto your Expo or archers or whatever. And if you guys know that interaction, you can really surprise your opponent. Another thing that we just saw that was a little bit more predictable, but also the most efficient trade possible if your opponent doesn't have any repercussion or any way of killing it, is if you go in for an Ice Spirit just like Ian did, then you retarget and make sure that the Sparky goes right back on top of either skeletons or Ice Golem or whatever. That's the best possible trade. But an alternative one is going in for archers, fireball, and having your Expo connect right on top of the Sparky as well, and that kills it completely. So we're going to see what else Ian does here. He's going to go in for an Expo on defense, and I expect his opponent to try to go and drop a Royal Giant in front of this and try to spam. No, he's going to go drop Barbarians as well. All right. So Ian only has to play defense here, and we know this opponent does not have a big spell, but he's still going to separate everything. He's going to go drop his Tesla further away, so if the Sparky hit the Expo, it wouldn't also hit the Tesla. That's why you got to separate everything. Even if they don't have a big spell, you can't mess around with it. And this deck is actually pretty hard to play against because he's got Hog Rider and he's also got Royal Giant. He's got 2 tanks and 2 menacing ways of destroying your Expo. So you guys thought that Royal Giant Sparky with Hog Rider was only viable at 5,400 trophies. Well, Phenoform is actually, how high is he? Let's go take a quick look real quick. He's literally 102 in the world, and he just played against that deck. But I guess it's also kind of cool because you guys are able to learn how to destroy decks that you might even find at lower trophy ranges. So we're jumping right into our very next game, and I have no idea what his opponent is playing. I've never actually seen this guy at the top of the leaderboard. He's going to have an Ice Wizard, though, so it might be Graveyard or could also be a Expo deck with Rocket. So judging by Ian's decision to go opposite lane, we think that's going to be an Expo deck. Yep, after we see the Rocket, our suspicions are confirmed. Are we going to be facing a Knight plus Tesla deck with Expo, or is it going to be just the standard one with Tornado and Mega Minion? Because the Knight Tesla one should always be a draw, if not a loss. The Knight should be able to eliminate the Skeletons, the Ice Spirit, the Ice Golem really quickly. And in this matchup, you're going to see a lot of defensive posturing with the Expos on defense. Because if you keep your defensive Expo alive, then your opponent can't position aggressively. If that Expo is alive, then it's very hard to drop anything on offense with your Expo because it's just going to get damaged down. So what we're going to want to see is a lot of map control and single elixir. They're going to drop defensive Expos first, or they're going to be dropping an aggressive Expo, but they're never really going to be able to do much if there's a defensive Expo on the map already. So if you're able to set up a defensive Expo and your opponent can't do anything and cycle an aggressive Expo or cycle one on defense, then you're able to out-cycle their Expo, and you're able to go in for a very aggressive one. So we're going to see whoever gets the Expo on the map first, generally winning the matchup. That's what we want to see. So in layman's terms, what you want to do is play really aggressive in this matchup, and you always want to have an Expo down on the map before your opponent, especially if they have a Rocket cycle one, because the Rocket doesn't fully kill the Expo, and if they drop Rocket, they're going to be dropping Skeletons or Ice Golem, and that's going to be a negative trade for them in every situation, and if they don't do that, then they're going to take chip damage on the left-hand side. So very good for Ian. He's able to cycle Skeletons, he cycle Ice Spirit, and he's going to try to get like a lot of chip damage with Ice Spirit and a Log. If you guys notice where they're placing their Expos, you need to do that. If you're playing against a 2.9 player or you're playing the mirror matchup, you have to do that because then your opponent can't fireball the weaker tower, and it still defends the middle. So Ian can't cycle an aggressive Expo until that Expo is dead, so he's going to cycle Skeletons, he's going to have archers to support and hopefully kill the Mega Minion, but he can't because his opponent jebaited him. He went for a Rocket. If he was a little bit worse, if Ian was worse there, he's like, oh, Mega Minion's coming at me, I have to drop the Ice Golem, and his opponent tried to get Ian to drop an Ice Golem there because he had the Mega Minion going towards the Expo. It was so appealing to try to defend that Expo and try to get a connection, but Ian didn't fall for it. He didn't waste 2 elixir. And now he's going to have the defensive Expo alive, and this is the situation you want to be in because his opponent cannot Rocket this Expo. He has to log it. So generally, if you're able to keep that Expo a little bit healthier, like if it was maybe 200 HP, a little bit healthier there, it would have been so much nicer. It really wouldn't have been able to allow his opponent to go and set up for a defensive Expo of his own. As you guys saw, as soon as that Expo expires, you set up a defensive Expo. And that's how this game works. So now they're going opposite lane. Things could be a little bit more dicey. His opponent doesn't have a 6 elixir yet, so that's going to get down. That Expo is going to get a lot of damage, and he's going to go in for a defensive Tesla here. Hopefully he gets a connection on top of the Expo. Oh my gosh. If that Tesla is blocked, Ian would have straight up lost the game from Rocket Cycle from that point on. So very well played from Ian getting that Tesla connection. He's going in for another aggressive Expo. Is he going to fireball this Ice Golem? I've seen that happen before. I've seen Crafter do that quite a bit, and Ian did that as well last video. He's going to still get a little bit more chip damage, and that's what I love to see. When you're playing against a Rocket player, especially Logbait or this deck, they can never fully finish off your Expo with it. So you're trying to get a little bit of chip damage here and there, and how he's winning this game is slowly but surely cycling Ice Spirits and Logs on the left-hand tower. And his opponent's like, yo, you have to fireball the right-hand side. You can't do anything other than that. But fireball doesn't fully kill the Expo, so Ian can't go in for an Expo until that's gone, so he's going to have to log, and then he's going to have the ability to go in for an Expo. But he has a Mega Minion coming at him, so he doesn't feel like he wants to, so then he's just going to go and fireball the Expo on the right-hand side. And now his opponent's dispersed Ian's damage on both sides. Ice Golem's going to be down on the right-hand side. Fortunately, his opponent doesn't have Tesla, but the Mega Minion is going to bait out an Ice Golem here. So is Ian going to be able to defend? I think if that Ice Golem comes down, it could plop and kill all the skeletons, and the Mega Minion gets connection. But, oh my gosh, they're tower trading, essentially. Who's going to win it? He has to fireball that Ice Golem to kill it. He has to get some type of connection on top of that Expo. Oh my gosh, Ian is playing this so well. His opponent doesn't have any elixir right now. He's going to have to rocket this Expo, and the Expo's on top of the tower. No, he's going to go log it, but he has no elixir to kill that Expo. Oh my gosh, Ian is coming through with so much damage. This is coming down to the wire. The fireball is coming in, and that is GG. Holy crap, dude. I can't believe the audacity of Ian to play so aggressively and just try to take the left-hand side while going in for a defensive Tesla to go and snipe that Expo on the right. That was some ballsy plays. If you guys don't want to play that ballsy, if you don't actually have your mechanics and interactions down pat as well as Ian does, what I highly recommend you doing is dropping defensive Expos and drawing the matchup if you're uncomfortable. But as you guys just saw, if you're a baller, if you're very good with Expo, you can identify the key moments that you can play aggressive, and we just saw that with Ian, and he was able to walk away with a very fat and easy W. And that's actually where we're going to end today's video. We just saw Ian climb the top 200 ladder, and now he's number 70 in the entire world at the end of season, 7,533 trophies. That's absolutely incredible, and I'm so thankful that Ian came on to the channel today to show us this gameplay and improve us all at 2.9 XBOW. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to give me a fat thumbs up. Go follow Ian. His link will be down below in the description of the video. His Twitter will be right there. And if you're somehow not already subscribed to the channel, what are you doing with your life? Make sure you hit that sub button and get notified when we go live with this juicy content. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chilling with me. I hope you guys all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.